Thanks for taking the time.
It's great to be with you, Chuck.
It's an awesome weekend for us, and for you taking our time on your business schedule, I really appreciate it.
Well, I'd only do it for TNT and NBA basketball because I'm a big fan.
Thank you. So, I know you're a big basketball fan.
Right.
I never thought I'd say this. Watching LeBron James play at the peak of his superpowers, it's an amazing debate. I never thought I would say somebody like, this guy might be as good as a Michael Jordan.
You know LeBron, I know LeBron. When you're standing next to him and then you watch him close up, I've never seen somebody that size, that fast, who can jump that high, who's that strong, who has that much basketball savvy, all in one package. So we don't yet know where he's going to be. Now, I'm a Chicago guy, and Mike will always be the guy for me, just because that was a magical moment for the city, and he was a champion. But Mike's now retired. LeBron, when you look at him, you think he might be able to play at a high level for another 7, 8, 10 years. He's 29 years old. In terms of every aspect of the game, LeBron has a chance to be as good as anybody.
You played basketball, obviously. How often do you get to play basketball now?
These days it's probably once a month. Things happen. One is you just get a little older and creakier. The second thing is you got to start thinking about elbows, and you break your nose right before a State of the Union address. What's been fun is watching Sasha, who's playing basketball now. She's in 7th grade.
I had a struggle watching my daughter play basketball because I wanted her to be really, really good. Where are you at on that parent-fan meter?
Well, I think it's a difference if you're a Hall of Famer. You probably have a higher standard than somebody who was a good high school player.
Speaking of State of the Union, you had Jason Collins there.
Yeah.
This week, Michael Sam came out.
Right.
And I saw the First Lady call his decision courageous.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I really like the fact that Michael did it before the draft, because his attitude was, you know what, I know who I am. I know I can play great football, and judge me on the merits.
Speaking about Attorney General Holder announced the same-sex benefits package in the last week.
Think about basketball. I mean, you think about what the NBA was before African Americans were allowed to play on an equal footing. You think about some of the stories that even folks like Oscar Robertson, tell what they went through. You think about what Jackie Robinson ended up meaning, not just to baseball, but to the entire society. I wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for him. I think America's stronger where everybody is being treated with respect and dignity.
What do you think of the term Obamacare?
I like it. I don't mind. And I tell you, 5 years from now, when everybody's saying, man, I'm sure glad we got health care, there are going to be a whole bunch of people who don't call it Obamacare anymore because they don't want me to get the credit. But you don't know what life will throw at you. And sometimes people don't recognize, particularly young people, how important it is to have coverage until you get sick and you realize you may lose everything you have, or your parents may lose everything they have trying to make you well. So we're encouraging people to sign up. They've got until March 31st to sign up for this year.
So if you could speak to a specific group, and I guess you're really talking about young adults.
Folks our age, I mean, I won't call us old yet, but once you...
We're knocking on the door.
We're knocking on the door. So once you're 50, you wake up sometimes. Has this ever happened to you, Chuck? You wake up and something hurts and you don't know exactly what happened, right? When you were
Everything hurts when I wake up.
When you were young, you had to actually have an injury before something hurts. We'd like to encourage more young people to sign up, partly because since they're healthier, their premiums are actually generally going to be fairly cheap. They can find good options for less than their cable bill, less than their cell phone bill. And it's just part of growing up, is making sure that you're taking care of your body, taking care of your health. And if you've got a young family, you've got to make sure that your family is protected with health insurance as well, and this allows you to do it.
You have a really exciting initiative coming up called My Brother's Keeper. Explain it, because when they were explaining it to me, it sounds amazing, but I'd like to hear it from you.
We're going to pull together private philanthropies, foundations, working with governors and mayors and churches and nonprofits. And we're just going to focus on young men of color and find ways in which we can create more pathways to success for them. We're not going to create some big new government program, but we're going to work with communities, businesses, so that, whether it's helping to set up early childhood education so that young people can read early, or it is creating mentorship programs and apprenticeship programs so that a young person can get exposed to what a career is like in a factory as a machinist, where you're getting paid $30, $35 an hour, but you may not even know that that option is available. Mm-hmm. Across the board, from the time they're young all the way through their first job, we want to help more young African-American men, Latino men, succeed.
Thank you for taking the time.
Oh, I had a great time, man.
Thank you very much.
You.
I appreciate
Thank you, Shaq.
You're welcome.
Don't give Shaq such a hard time.
I got to.